During my college winter break, I decided to stay with my cousins in North Dakota. It was a small town, very quiet and covered in snow. I thought it would be nice to spend some time away from the busy college life. Little did I know I was in for the scariest experience of my life. One night, my cousins and I went to a friend's house. This house was in a desolate area far from the town. It was surrounded by thick, dark forests. We had a good time laughing and sharing stories. As the night grew darker, it was time to go home. My cousins wanted to stay longer, but I was tired and decided to walk back alone. "I'll be fine," I told them. "It's just a short walk through the forest." I bundled up in my thick coat, gloves, and hat and started walking. The snow crunched under my boots with every step. The cold air stung my face, but I didn't mind. The path was familiar. We had walked it many times before. It was a shortcut through the forest, saving about 10 minutes compared to the road. As I walked deeper into the forest, the trees seemed to close in around me. The moonlight barely reached through the thick branches. My breath formed small clouds in the air. It was silent, except for the occasional howl of the wind. Suddenly, I saw a figure ahead on the path. It startled me, as I didn't expect to see anyone else out here. The figure was tall and wore a dark coat. As I got closer, I noticed he was wearing a ski mask. His face was completely covered except for his eyes. "Hey!" I called out, waving my hand. The man didn't respond. He just stood there silently, staring at me. A chill ran down my spine. I felt a sense of dread. Who was this person? Why was he just standing there? My heart started to race. I thought about turning back to my friend's house, but I was already halfway home. Trying to stay calm, I walked quickly past the man, keeping my eyes forward. I could feel his gaze on me. My steps quickened, almost running now. The forest seemed darker, the path narrower. Every sound made me jump. I heard footsteps behind me. My blood ran cold. I didn't dare to look back. I just kept moving faster. The footsteps grew louder and closer. I was sure he was following me. I broke into a full sprint. My lungs burned from the cold air, and my legs felt heavy, but I couldn't stop. The footsteps behind me matched my pace. I could hear him getting closer and closer. Panic surged through me. In the distance, I saw the lights of my cousin's house. I pushed myself harder, desperate to reach the safety of home. My mind raced with terrifying thoughts of what might happen if he caught me. Finally, I burst out of the forest and into the yard. The footsteps stopped. I dared to glance back, but saw no one. The path was empty, just dark trees and shadows. I rushed to the door and pounded on it, my breath coming in gasps. "What's wrong?" my cousin asked, seeing the fear on my face. There was someone in the forest, I managed to say between breaths. He was following me. My cousins quickly checked outside but found nothing. The path was empty, and the forest was quiet again. They tried to reassure me, saying it was probably just someone else heading home, but I couldn't shake the feeling of dread. That night, I barely slept. Every sound made me jump. I kept seeing the man in the ski mask standing silently in the forest, his eyes cold, empty. The next morning, I decided I wouldn't take that path again. It was too risky. The experience haunted me for the rest of my break. Even now, thinking about it sends chills down my spine. I wonder who that man was and what he wanted. Why was he out there, and why did he follow me? I'll never know, but one thing is certain. I don't plan to go back to that forest path anytime soon.